Some youth in Abuja arise in support of embattled Minister of Communication and Digital Economy, Ali Pantami, recounting his achievement as DG of NITDA and Minister in Nigeria. They declared that he has done well and stand by the presidency on Pantami.
At a time, many of other clerics in Nigeria believe the Saudi was doing the right thing. But along the line, he had an experience similar to what the Holy Bible told us that Apostle Paul had on the road to Damascus after he was explored with fresh evidence. Thereafter, Pantami openly recanted his previous comment and took it upon himself to preach against Islamic extremist ideologies across major cities of northern Nigeria, and which has over the years made this a target for Boko Haram, which has been radicalizing thousands of youth. So whereas many Nigerians from the south first heard about Dr. Pantami when President Muhammadu Buhari named him as the Director General of National Information Technology Development Agency, NITDA, and subsequently as a cabinet member, he had for at least 10 years been a known figure in the north for his itinerant anti-Boko Haram preachings. He was in fact one of the few Islamic preachers that dare preach publicly against the deadly sect before it was designated as a terrorist group, and which was why Abubakar Shekau, the leader of the insurgent group, in February 2020 issued a fatwa on him, reminded Nigerians how his group shot and killed other preachers in the past. So we are surprised that a group of Nigerians, with the backing of some vested interests, began a campaign of calumny against Pantami, starting with false claim on him being on a US terror list. When that failed, they began to dig up his past views, penned him in a dangerous list long after he had recanted those positions. We were therefore not surprised that even a former US ambassador to Nigeria, John Campbell, made it clear that Pantami was not considered as an individual of interest by American security agencies because his country pays more attention to action than word. Not long after the presidency dismissed calls for his sack and reaffirmed his competence, especially as the sector of the economy he oversees was instrumental in taking the country out of COVID-19 induced recession at a time more established economies are still struggling. So we are constrained to outline some of the achievements of Dr. Pantami in only 2 years in office as the supervising minister of the Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy. 1. Economic policy and strategy for a digital Nigeria, 2020 to 2030, November 2019. 2. Development of a SIM card registration policy, February 2020. 3. Development of reverse NIN SIM registration policy, approved on 8th of March 2021. 4. Development of Nigerian National Broadband Plan 2020 to 2025, March 2020, launched by President Muhammadu Buhari on the 19th March 2021. 5. Launching of the emergency communication centers and 112 emergency communication number, March 2020. 6. Facilitated the platform for virtual Federal Executive Council (FEC) meetings, May 2020. 42nd virtual FEC took place on 21st of April 2021. 7. Significant drop in right-of-way charges after meeting with NGF, February 2020. cost per linear meter dropped from as high as 14 kobo in some states to 145 naira. Some states even waived it completely. 8. Telecommunication infrastructures as critical national infrastructure. June 2020, President Muhammadu Buhari approved the Honorable Minister's request and declared telecommunication infrastructure as critical national infrastructure. 9. National Policy on Visual Engagement in Federal Public Institution, July 2020. Policy was approved at the Federal Executive Council on the 14th of October 2020. 10. National Policy for Indigenous Content Development in the Nigeria Telecommunication Sector, July 2020. This policy will promote indigenous content in the telecommunication sector by focusing on key areas where the development of such capacity will have the greatest level of impact. Policy approved by President Muhammadu Buhari on the 8th of March 2021. 15. Delivered the keynote address at the United States Nigeria Digital Economy Conference, December 2020. A partnership between both countries aimed at strengthening the Nigerian startup ecosystem. 16. Cost of broadband, November 2020. Significant drop in cost of 1 gig of broadband from 1,200 naira in August 2019 to 487 naira 18 kobo in November 2020. 17. Launch of National Adopted School for Smart Education at the Garki Secondary School, Abuja, April 2021. 18. Reduction of cluster gaps of unserved and undeserved areas, 2020. Reduced from 207 cluster gaps to 114 cluster gaps, or from 36.8 million people to 31.16 million people. 19. Centers to support the development of Nigeria's digital economy, over 300 completed or ongoing since 2019. 20. Significant increase in NIN enrollment and enrollment centers. The current number of monthly enrollment has increased significantly by about 500% to over 206 million registration. There has also been a remarkable increase in the number of enrollment centers across the country, with about 3,800 centers available for enrollment. 21. International recognition for Nigeria, March 2021. Example, in recognition of the giant stride of Nigeria in the telecom sector, Nigeria was selected for the chairmanship and position of the Executive Secretary of West African Telecom Regulator Assembly, WATRA, on the 10th of March 2021. 22. Support toward lifting the Nigeria economy out of recession, Q4 2020. The Information and Communication Technology, ICT sector, recorded the highest growth rate of all the sectors of the Nigeria economy in both fourth quarter of 2020 and the entire year 2020. This was based on the 2020 report on Nigeria's gross domestic product, GDP, released by the National Bureau of Statistics, NBS released. In fact, when one considers the second to seventh fastest growing sector, agriculture 3.42%, health and social service 3.05%, real estate 2.81%, water supply 1.92%, public admin 1.80%, construction 1.21%. The 14.7% growth rate of the ICT sector was greater than combined 14.21% growth of the second to seventh fastest growing sectors. Furthermore, the telecommunication sector recorded a growth rate in 15.90%, and this was its highest growth rate in the last 10 years. With all this outline achievement, we make bold to declare that Dr. Issa Pantami has done well and should be judged by his work in office, not by ethics that he had long recanted and for which He is Boko Haram's #1 enemy today. We stand by the presidency, and we urge Nigerians not to be swayed by the pull him down antics of his tabloids who don't mean well for Nigeria and our country. Thank you, gentlemen of the press, and God bless Federal Republic of Nigeria.